When we're all the way on the ground, let's allow our bottoms of the feet to slide together, the knees opening up like a cobbler's pose. And then let's allow our hands to rest right on the belly. And so from this shape, take a few rounds of breath, letting the breath flow into that belly area and out. Nice and relaxed. So just feel that breath flow into the belly. And it's like we're trying to slow down the breath. That long, slow process of breathing. We notice things in our energy field kind of starting to quiet. If you could imagine kind of an aura around you, maybe as you went through much of the day today, maybe there was a lot of frazzled energy, just the energy going crazy. This person's trying to suck your energy. This person's asking for this. Who knows? Maybe there's something you watched or someone you came across that just rubbed you the wrong way. Or maybe there's something even long in the past that's still trying to suck your energy. So imagine any of these things we might have come across today as kind of like this frazzled state of our energy. But yet, it's so easy here, focusing on slowing the breath and breathing into the belly. It's so easy to notice that aura, that energetic field that we have, starting to calm down. Maybe it's still a big aura. Maybe it's got a beautiful color. I don't know. But it's not so frazzled. Like if you see pictures of the sun and all those storms going on all over, it's not so crazy like that. It's more like a peaceful lake or a beautiful crystal clear piece of glass. And either way, that lake image or that glass image, it focuses light in really specific ways. So imagine if you have a magnifying glass with you, it's able to take light around it and focus it, even to the point where you can start a fire. So there's a powerful spark that comes from that focus of energy rather than the frazzled energy just going everywhere. So that type of magnifying glass focus of our energetic state, that's going to be kind of the inspiration for our class today. Allowing that spark not only to warm us up, this has been kind of a cold week for us. So physically warming us, warming our digestive system, that's the fire, where our fire rests in our system. And also just letting that spark inspire us. What ways can we use a spark of energy to do amazing things with our life or make awesome changes for the world? So that type of focus for our energy is what we're cultivating today by stretching and by healing all systems that we have. And so let's begin with that fire part of our body, the belly. We're going to do a couple of nice gentle circles around the belly area. And these circles, we imagine that it's almost like we're creating a focus, we're creating a magnifying glass, or even just massaging through that fire element. And so what I like to do personally is get the fingers of one hand to stack on top of the fingers of the other hand. And then I start at the right lower side, so kind of right by that right hip. And then from there, trace up the right half. When you get almost to the ribs, trace over to the left half. And then trace down that left half and right back to start. And take a few circles just like that, just a very soft touch, circling around. This is the direction that the colon travels. And so perhaps we can imagine just helping that digestive system, like that area of our body that needs the fire to absorb the nutrients, to transform our food. And so here by this small, gentle little circle, imagine it's helping that metabolism, helping your digestive system, even helping your elimination tremendously. So let's take 2 or 3 more circles, depending on how fast or slow you're traveling. Then as you finish, the arms can begin to open out to the left and the right sides of your body. And just feel yourself breathing back into the belly. Dropping the right hand downward, it's toward that right thigh. The left hand traces upward. You're even welcome to kind of inch your spine up to let it slide a little bit off the right side of the mat. Once again, ending up with the right hand down, the left hand up and over. Such a nice way to get into the shoulder and into the side ribs. Perhaps imagine how you're focusing the energy of this part of the body, that nice lateral area. Nice inhale. And exhale. We'll begin to switch it out, but don't feel any sense of rush. Kind of use your elbows to ease you back to the center of the mat. Maybe pause there for a full breath cycle in, out. Then we'll begin to ease to the second side. Ultimately, the left hand will be down, the right hand up and over. Maybe you're taking that moment to scoot your shoulders off the top left edge of the mat also. So imagine how the energy, maybe any frazzled areas that you might find that are in this area, imagine through the stretching action, we're helping to focus the energy. Turning it into much more of a smooth state that you can work with rather than that crazy energized state. It's almost like how we can't really control air. Air it does what it does. It fills whatever container it's in. It's easier to control fire than to control air because we can control the fuel source. Dropping it down another level, it's easier to control water than to control fire because water has the container. And dropping it down one more level, it's easiest to contain earth and to control it because it does exactly what we want it to do generally. So imagine any of that frazzled energy, we're dropping it down so that it's becoming not necessarily dense as in heavy, but it's becoming like focused. It's becoming in control of your command. Whatever your thought might be, your energy does exactly that. So take a really good inhale here. Exhale, make your spine return right back into the center, perhaps arms expanding left and right. From this space, we're going to pick up our right thigh and flip it over to the left. You'll notice with that initial flip, you're starting to feel some things, maybe toward the hip areas, maybe in the low back already. Essentially, we're heading toward a twist, and this could be exactly where you end up in the twist. Nothing wrong with that. If you want to feel sensations in new areas of your body, you can play with exactly where the knees are pointed. So perhaps you start to slide both legs a little bit closer to the shoulder. Kind of a nice halfway point would get you into the outer hip massage. If you continue to squeeze the knees in from that, you might be feeling the sensation a little bit higher up your spine. So just keep on exploring until you're feeling the exact sensation that you're looking for right now. When you get there, remember the breath, focusing into the belly area. Let's take another good breath in, out. From there, we'll flop the right thigh back open and readjust our body to end up in that cobbler state again. Bottoms of feet together. Perhaps taking fingertips to stack on top of one another. Do a few more of those belly circles. Whenever that feels complete, sooner or later, you can flip the left thigh over. Maybe take a moment to pause with the easy initial twist, just the knees kind of starting to stack to that side. We'll notice there will be a few points in class today where we will allow ourselves to take twists. So imagine it's like we're returning to the center, this fire area of our body, allowing ourselves to really feel that spark. That digestive system loves to take just gentle twists to help it out. So we're just helping that focused energy to really spark, to create that fire, that healing, that health in our gut. So if at this point you want to change the twist, maybe scooting the knees a little closer, you can start to play with any type of deepening. Two more breaths all the way into the belly area. To that second breath, flip back open one more time for this cobbler pose. Perhaps a few more of those belly circles. Tracing each time in that same direction, helping it to aid the colon area. Good. As that starts to feel complete, bring both of your thighs upward, and then bringing both thighs into the chest, we can place a hand on each knee. From this place, do a couple of little circles or rocking motions left and right. Just stay here. We're on our back a little bit longer. Okay, so from here, as the left hand releases, that left foot goes to the ground. Keep that leg planted like this. We're going to use it in just a moment. From here, right leg, let it extend all the way up to the sky. Easy clasp behind the back of the leg. This allows us to begin to get into the hamstring area. Imagine any of that frazzled energy, any sensations that feel quite intense here. Imagine that we're beginning to breathe, kind of almost like waves of the ocean, that breath getting sent up to the leg and receding out is like helping to take some of that static electricity away, helping to ground it, helping to make it into a material that can be focused. Again, this is restorative, so don't feel like you have to force the deepest stretch you've ever had. Even if nothing else, this pose is nice because we're helping to allow some of the lymph and blood to drain out of the leg, helping any swelling to be reduced. So if nothing else, it's almost like legs up the wall, one leg at a time. A few more breaths. Keep that slow breath flowing in and out. Imagining the energy of this leg is becoming so much more purified, so much easier to use. And from here, we take this right ankle up onto the left thigh. We can release our hands from that thigh if it's still clasped. And we're doing anything we need to do to help that right hip open. So even leaving that bottom foot on the ground and just pushing into that right thigh could be where we're at today. We could bring everything closer to the torso so that we can clasp hands around the thigh or the shin. So just choose the variation that helps your hip the most. This could be the best pose to continue to hold for a little bit longer, or there might be some of us that want to deepen this experience even more. If that's you, continue to slip this knee to cross even more tightly over the other knee, and then grab onto either the knee area or slide hands all the way down to the ankles. That would be one option to get even deeper, especially into the hip connection area. So either way is beautiful. This is just us listening to our body, asking the body what it wants, what would be the most helpful, the most restorative version for it. Breathing into the belly, try to deepen that experience. And then as our hands begin to release from this, uncross any twisted action that's going on. Allow both thighs to open out wide, and we can rest our hands on the inner thighs or the inner knees of each leg. We should be feeling just a gentle stretch in each inner thigh. If you're not experiencing as much sensation as you want to in this place, you can extend one leg out or both legs out for all or part of the time. It's going to be up to you. Anytime it becomes too fatiguing, just bend the knees. That's where we're at with restorative yoga. We're trying to find the most restful way to get into a helpful stretch. Just 3 or 4 more breaths, whichever variation you're choosing. Bending the knees if they straightened at all. We plant our right foot to the ground. And then this left leg gets its chance to stretch up to the sky. Remember, this can be easy. We can clasp around the thigh. It can have any amount of bend. Nothing too strict here. Perhaps we're getting a little bit of stretching to the hamstring and also that nice just inversion of the leg. Getting to help aid in some of the blood flow. Take away some of the swelling. Lost it again, return to the belly breath. Last deep inhale. And exhale, resting the left ankle onto right thigh. Variation 1, you're welcome to just keep that right foot on the ground, helping to rotate that left thigh open. Variation 2, going for the hug around the right side. If you wanted to go into the variation 3, wait just a little bit longer. I'll guide you into it. You want to just shift to that last variation, crossing the thigh more tightly over, grabbing onto each ankle. This is a good place to do it. You don't have to. 3 more slow, deep belly breaths. Third one, release back open to that wide figure V shape. Bent knees can be beautiful, especially for the first couple of breaths. That gives us a chance to tune into what our body wants now, realizing it always is shifting and changing. We're always fresh and new. So from here, if you want to play with one leg at a time straightening or both, you could absolutely take those variations. For all or part of the time, we won't be here too much longer, just a few more good relaxing breaths. Two more deep cycles into the belly. As the knees bend, if they're not there already, draw the thighs inward at both feet. And we're going to come up into a slight back bend shape. It's almost like a variation of fish pose. So start to lift the head and the chin up, and then work your elbows underneath your back space. Once you've got yourself propped up by elbows, the main action we're trying to go for is lifting the heart up. You also want to try rocking the head back. For me, that's actually really relaxing because my head rests on a little pillow that my shoulders make. But more than anything, try to let that heart raise up. Not here too long, about 3 more breaths. And safely roll the chin into the chest. Once you're there, one hand finds the floor and then the other. When we're up to the seated place with the feet planted, we're going to reach our hands around, clasping our fingers or our wrists around the shins. And then we're going to help to stretch that spot right in between shoulder blades. We do that by rounding the shoulder blades back and bowing the head in. So it's like we're turning our spine into a curvature, a C figure shape. If it's not hitting the right spot of your spine, you can adjust where the roll is at, focusing it higher or lower, so that it's just at that perfect spot. Three more breaths right here. After those 3 breaths, it's going to be a slow process to unwind. If you were to just jump with your spine out of this, your muscles wouldn't like it very much. So take a full maybe 20 seconds or so to gradually start to lift the head up. Perhaps then release the hands. Good, and feel yourself just straightening on your own. From there, we're going to turn the hug to be now around the thighs. So we're clasping wrists or fingers around the thighs, maybe even reaching all the way for elbows. And what that is supposed to do is glue our chest to our thighs to make it so that as we travel into a forward fold, we're including the low back as well as the glutes and the hamstrings in such a deep way. So I start off with the head resting down right onto the knees. If I don't feel enough of that stretch in the areas that I was just describing, you'll begin to walk one foot forward, and then the next. And you'll just slowly ease your way to that perfect forward fold shape. You don't feel like you're forcing anything. Some of us will end up almost at the beginning of this shape. Some of us will end up almost flat. It's not a competition. This is you listening to your body. The moment your chest starts to rise away from the thighs, that shows you that's my edge. That's about how far I can go with this particular variation of this. As you're preparing to unwind, you'll find the hands on the floor and press into that to support your spine. Once again, that helps make sure that the muscles of the back that we're just stretching are not kind of squeezing into any sort of pain right away. Good. So when we get there, we're going to tuck the right foot in, and we're going to take a nice stretch over that straight right leg. You'll notice it's quite different to do one leg than both in the way that we were just doing it. So find the variation to travel forward here. So this could be about maintaining a straight spine as you tilt forward. This could be about just kind of releasing all muscular effort to relax. Just find the variation that helps you feel the good things in your energetic system. Like helping any of that frazzled energy to just stretch out so we can breathe into it. Finding the floor to press into, we rise up. We take a simple spinal twist. We're going to let this right knee pop back up. Left hand grabs onto it or hooking around the elbow. The other hand is behind us so that we can just gently, gently encourage our spine into the twist. Feel the sensation of straightening up first. And then it's almost like any amount that we twist, it's like we're not trying to just, force the muscles of the back. We're not trying to just get into, the neck or anything. I like to envision also including the belly button, helping that area come with me so that I'm helping to encourage all those digestive organs, that fire of our body, to have some motion. It's like if you poke at a fire, those embers get to move around and they get to soak up the different parts of the wood that were not exposed previously. So it's like that right now. We're kind of poking at our fire, encouraging it to help us in the transformation process, helping to nurture us. A good breath in, out. As we start to return forward, this front leg, that left one, is going to take a bend. So the foot's coming into the midline, the knees, so the left foot is to the right, the left knee is to the left, it's just swiveling in. This other leg will tuck back or go all the way behind you into pigeon pose. So the easier variation is just tucking that right knee by the foot or that full pigeon pose variation. So we've got our left leg in front of us, right leg pigeon or that variation. Either way, start to lean forward. It's a whole new area we haven't really explored up to this point that much. It's a whole different way to have our body weight pressing into it rather than the hug that we did earlier. So anything that's frazzled about this, breathe into it. Breathe space, breathe hope, breathe love, breathe focus. We'll begin to unwind ourselves. We'll send the legs back in front of us. It's going to feel so nice to untuck that right leg and extend the right leg forward. Now it's this left foot that's tucked into the right inner thigh. When you get there, find your spine taking the same quality you did before, maybe just a release, that collapse down. Or maybe if you'd like to straighten the spine a little bit, the low back area, as you continue to ease forward. So just take your dear sweet time getting into these beautiful spots that need our love, that need our attention. As we start to rise, we'll prepare for the twist. Don't rush your way up. But when you're there, pick up this left knee. From that spot, right hand or right elbow can hook. Remember to straighten the spine up first, and then just ease your way into the twist, thinking of the belly button coming with you. Notice what it is to breathe into the belly in this shape. It's like a little massage for the guts. So again, encourage that fire. That fire is the transformation within. And then it's almost like as we reverse time, we see how the fire started. We see that beautiful focus. And so we create our energetic field to be that focused state, that magnifying glass. It allows us to see things so clearly for what they are. And that allows us to focus energy, create the transformation, to create that spark that we end up with. Let's take 2 more breaths here. After the second breath, we can head with the right leg in front of us into either the restorative variation or the full pigeon pose. So right leg is in front, maybe the left knee tucks back, or maybe the whole leg gets sent back into pigeon, if pigeon is a restorative pose for you, your body. Either way, feel yourself leaning forward, getting deep into those hip muscles. Send breath to this area. This is totally, completely different than the other side. So approach it as such. Approach it with kindness, with care, with love. More deep belly breaths. Then unwind your way out back toward a seated place. From this seated place, your right leg can be making cross-leg shape in front, or maybe right shin stacking on top, or maybe knee stack. It's up to you and what allows the sitting bones to both be comfortably down without use of the hands. So we're going to use our hands for a couple of nice stretches here. First is eagle's arms. So right elbow winds under left elbow. If you can get the full palm to wrap, it makes it easy to hold on to. Otherwise, backs of hands together is fine. And what I want you to do is play with whatever helps you to stretch and ease into your tight spots. So for me personally, I'm going to lift my elbows up in line with shoulders and press the shoulders down. And that will get me right into my shoulder and neck area. Others of us are going through maybe some pains in between shoulder blades, so that might be an opportunity to round down. This pulls the shoulder blades away from one another. You could also kind of rotate left and right, up and down. Just find the spot that feels perfect. We'll be here just a little bit longer. Good. Start to unwind the arms. When we open the arms out to each side, trace a circle with your hands. So it's like thumbs are going up and then thumbs are going down. Good. One more. And then place the right hand at the base of the neck. Left hand grabs the right elbow and pulls it midline. If you hunched forward at all, push the head back to straighten the spine up. Releasing, grab the other elbow, pull it midline. Releasing, clasp your hands behind the back and bring both hands to the right hip and then tilt the right ear to the right shoulder. Good. Head rises back up, hands to the left hip, left ear to left shoulder. Beautiful. Head back up, release the hands, drop them to the floor in front of you, and give your hips a couple of breaths, just easing forward. And the return journey back up. Let's unwind our legs. Maybe you want to do a windshield wiper or two, just freeing out all those hip connections. And eventually you'll take the same shape on the other side. So left leg crossed in front, or left shin on top, or left knee on top, your choice. When you get there, eagle's arms with left elbow under. And take the same variations or perhaps new spots that need some attention on your back. So maybe round down, maybe rotate left and right, up and down, or just pause at a good placement. Another good breath in. Exhale, unwind the arms, open them out to each side, just a couple of those circles. Rotating around, thumbs up, thumbs down. Good. From there, once again, right hand to base of neck, grab the elbow, pull midline. Sitting up nice and tall, keep the head lifted. I love this for the tricep stretch that we get. We don't always touch into that area. So imagine if there's any frazzled energy around the tricep, helping to smooth it out. And then switching to the other elbow, pull it midline. And clasping the hands behind the back, bring them to the right hip, right ear drops over right shoulder. You can always tilt slightly forward or slightly back if that's a better angle for your neck. And let it raise back up. Switch hands to second side and let the ear drop down. Good. When it rises back up, release, find the floor, and slide forward. 2 more breaths into the belly. And as we start to rise up, this is our journey towards Shavasana. So perhaps it's nice to do a few more of those windshield wipers. Perhaps your body knows that it just needs 1 or 2 more stretches before Shavasana. So if that's the case, take those last things that your body's craving, whatever it might be. And also know that you can take any variation of Shavasana that you want when you're ready for it. You could go straight on the ground. You could go where we started in that cobbler's pose. You could swing your legs up a wall. You could stay in child's pose or rest on your belly. There's so many different variations. So take this journey, even another 30 seconds, another minute or 2, whatever you need. Take this journey of these last poses until your body knows it feels complete sooner or later. And when you reach that point, you'll find your perfect Shavasana. Don't feel any rush to get there. It's gradual exploration. Perhaps it'd be helpful to have hands resting on the belly, but you do not have to. Maybe that's helpful just to kind of help you imagine that focused point within the very center of your body. So here as we begin our return journey out, first start by noticing how your energy feels. You could just imagine what an aura might look like for you. Just imagine what that is. And has it changed since the beginning of class? Is it less frazzled? Maybe if there's a color, has the color shifted? Just observe, notice. Allow this breath to deepen all the way into that belly area. Begin to introduce movements back to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. And enjoying just a couple of breaths, maybe 3 or 4 good cycles until you feel ready to rise sooner or later. Whenever we arise, imagine the hands joining together is like the creation of this focal point. All this energy around you is very clear, like the magnifying glass, so ready to receive and to create that heat, that transformation, that new spark in your life. And so, using our thoughts and our words and our deeds these next few days, we realize that is how we create that spark, that transition, that focus, that change. So really imagine and be conscious of what it is that we're putting out, because that's creating the world around us. That's creating our very existence. So with this special kind of focus to lead us on to a powerful finish to this day, let's wrap up the time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.